Hello, everyone. Hello,
Hi.
Lance. Hello, Alex. Hello, Chan.
Hi.
Just give me one moment, guys. Let me quickly send something to one person because one person wanted to join us. Damn, Lance is at the rope. Oh no, wait. That's a
It's a
hoodie.
jacket.
Yeah, okay. I in the first moment I thought you have a pimp rope, but then I realized, wait a second, I see a zipper here. So give me 1 second. Let me send this to the person. Where is it? This person literally just messaged me. Ah, here. So cool. All right. We're just gonna. So I started reviewing Alex's sales call, so we're just gonna move forward with it. There is not much you missed. Alex is just spastic. So he had a call previously with this individual. He has forgotten to ask him a lot of questions that will actually help him understand his circumstances. So after we reviewed that, and he also scheduled a follow up with that person to actually show him what is that he's doing. He has now wasted 40 minutes roughly to figure out what he was missing from the previous call, even though the previous call was over an hour long. So he can now actually show the person after a couple of days and 2 hours what is it he's doing. Just so we are all on the same page. And now let's just look at this abomination.
So this is as comprehensive as anything I've seen. Actually, it's more comprehensive when you have the amount of human touch you have, direct face to face with these folks. The branding, the content. There are similarities and things out there, but you are correct. I have not seen this unique combination. Concerns would be only to the extent of what I can say about the model in this context that would clear compliance. They've been very. I've got. I'm doing this a long time. I've worked with a lot of compliance departments. This is by far the most flexible group of folks. But when you start talking about something, the duration of 19 months of delivering, at least 2% dividend deposits to people's accounts, if you will, or earnings rates in the 4 to 5% per month. There's definitely concern in terms of the guaranteed nature of it. Things when you're doing it that long, it starts to fall into the area. Well, you're basically saying you could do this forever, and we believe we can do it forever, but we can't tell people we do it forever.
Yeah, of
And
course.
so a little concern on that. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what I want to do. Is I don't want to showcase me. I'm pulling the levers. I'm the guy that created the model, but I want to showcase the model because the model is going to be the thing that's going to have the duration for beyond in the legacy, particularly for my 25-year-old, and if my daughter remains in the practice and all that. So that's what I really like about what you're saying. I guess my other concern is I'm just kind of adding up time and this and that of you guys, and I imagine that this, if I was guessing, this is a $50,000-$60,000 commitment over a year period of time.
Maybe less. If we're talking over a year, probably less. But then again, I would love to address every other concern first.
Yeah, no,
because at the end of the day, the pricing, at least to me, the pricing is always the last thing I look at, especially as we know.
By the way, Alex, honestly, because I have noticed this is every time something you ask, I will just add one additional slide in your presentation, quite like after qualification management, with just 3 dots in the middle, or just nothing in the middle, or just a straight line in the middle. So you don't hang on the qualification management, but so you actually have just a slide where you can actually speak with those people about what is that you're speaking. Because like even when if I would speak to you right now, Alex, you were in a tunnel. Tunnel has no internet. You're a mall right now. Yeah. Alex, hello.
What? Yeah, and I didn't understand what you meant.
Oh, wonderful. Now I can hear you. Just put another slide in the presentation after qualification management, where if you hit to that slide, you know exactly that you can now ask this question and just stay on this question till all the concerns are answered, and until you can move forward to the pricing. Just that.
So just like a Q&A slide, nothing.
Don't call it Q&A, but yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'll send you for approval later.
Cool.
Interesting,
No, you know what? Do it right now when you're fucking driving. Like Alex, go on.
if you're
Easy,
aware
let
of the
me pull
value,
out my
if you know
laptop.
you're getting
Give
return
me
on
a
investment,
second.
then
Sure,
you know. So let me address the first thing you said in terms of regulatory compliance. As you can imagine, this is a question that I hear
Yeah.
often. You know, like
Yeah.
I work exclusively with financial planners, so this is something that is a concern very often. Even so much so that in some states, I had clients, and I have a few left like that, but some brokers prohibit investors. It usually applies to newer investors, newer planners. My bad. To newer planners, when they don't really have much of a choice in the brokerage, or they don't have as much experience, so they go with the first broker they found. There are some brokers that prohibit them from promoting their business in any way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even in those cases, we have found a workaround. Right. So right there, I hear this question often. Let me just make it make you calmer, I guess. We make sure that before we even post anything, everything's pre-approved by you.
Sure.
Everything is checked for regulatory compliance. There is thousands of ways to say that your model brings 2% consistently without actually saying it that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
On top of that, as we said, right, maybe you want to focusing on the model could be our priority. At the same time, the element of the personal touch needs to be there. To say you're traveling for business, in that case, we would ask you to, you know, take a picture of, you know, you being like of the window of the plane or something, traveling for that conference or something like this, stories like this. So even if you don't want your face to be seen, it's important that people see that there is a person behind the model. Whether that person is you or maybe in a while your student, that is important.
No, I get it. I'm not selling an algorithm. I'm selling my judgment in operating a model.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what we're talking about here. But in terms of regulatory compliance, that has never, let's say we have never, we were never stuck. We were never at the point where we couldn't find a workaround.
Right.
Here's also why the ISA qualification comes in handy, because the ads don't need to be so specific if you don't only rely on the ads for closing. The fact that this process the system is so detailed, there's so many steps in it, makes it so the ads can be just catchy. They don't need to sell anything. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
Perfect. Is there anything else you would like me to explain further?
No, like I said, I have seen many similar elements of parts of what you're doing, but I just haven't seen it as integrated as well.
Yep.
And I haven't seen the manpower towards the end of the process. That is, I mean, you're almost creating, like you said, referral quality type meetings because you've established a relationship with these people on your own.
Exactly.
You know, I get it.
I mean, the thing is, I won't lie, back when I was starting out, I've tried lots of different services. It took a lot of work and a lot of time for me to find the system and to tune it well specifically for this niche.
Sure.
That's why this mix, you haven't seen it that way, because this system is the result of all my struggles and my hard work.
Sure.
Me and my
it's your version of a model.
Exactly.
I get it.
Exactly.
I birthed my model starting at 13 years ago to get to where it is. So, I understand your journey.
And hence why I want to share it. So is this something, if I may ask you, is this something that you would be willing to pursue? Purely value.
So independent if you're going to start with Apex or if you want to pursue with Apex, based on everything you have seen thus far. By the way, guys, in case you don't know, because you have not seen previously, like he also has a company that his CEO has paid for that apparently guarantees him to bring him 40 leads in a period of 4 months that are going to be worth 30 millions. So just besides the point. So what you will want to say, Alex, here is, so look, independent if you want to pursue with Apex only or just run 2 systems, based on everything you have seen so far, is this something you will want to move forward with in 2 years where you may die, 6 months, or today? And I'm not referring to his age. I know he's 71. He actually may die tomorrow. But this is quite literally something you will say to me, you will say to Nance, you will say to Chahat, you will say to Celine. It has nothing to do with his age. So please stop limiting yourself by thinking to yourself that you may offend his old ass by saying he may die tomorrow. Alex, you may die on the way home right now.
Man, I'm Eastern. I have respect for elders. There should be like ways
but he's not
say
Eastern.
this.
No, but he's not Eastern.
But
he may be an Eastern bunny, but it's nothing to do with it.
Right. But so wouldn't something like in 2 years when your business might just flop work as well?
No, because he currently manages 30 million. Like it's not like his business can flop in 2 years, especially when motherfucker has 36 years experience in business.
46.
In this, not even in any business. 46 years in this particular business.
Yeah, fair.
But at the same time, you want to remind him of the fact that he was once managing 2 billion. And in comparison to that, 40 million that is currently managing and 50 that is his goal is not that a lot. In comparison. That's still 950 million short. No, sorry, 1 billion and 950 million short.
I feel like you keep doing this mistake on purpose with this exact calculation.
Not necessarily, but you quite literally can.
Yeah,
Because it just proves the point.
fair. So that's actually a good one.
I'm not going to lie, it's a lot. I think you guys have done a great job of making it as seamless on my side and my interaction. And quite frankly, I think between my daughter's prompting of, okay, Dad, this is what they want you to do. Go take a picture here, do that. That's where she's very gifted in these things. She's done this for some other companies. So I think that's a valuable thing on my team that makes it easier rather than you trying to lead around an old 71-year-old guy by the nose trying to make him relevant. So yeah, I'm very interested. It is, oh, how do I say this? I don't want to say it without sounding lazy, but it is as professional a total approach as I've seen. And
I will just interrupt him and say, I will not call it lazy due to the fact that this is our part of the business, or this is our part of the job. Your part of the job is to actually deal with those people and close them. Due to the fact that by the end of the day, it's a partnership. And that's why, as you have seen, I have asked you a lot of different questions to even be sure that you're someone who we can actually work with. Because the last thing I want to see is, let's say, an absolute newbie that doesn't know shit about his business, and then he's just gonna waste our time and the leads that we're gonna warm up for him. Yet it will still work with someone like this.
So the point of saying that is then to say that he's not lazy, and then basically tell him that I hope you're not gonna be, right?
Yes, especially because he is now managing 1,970,000,000 less than he once was.
Yeah. Okay.
And his goal is now not to get back to 2 billion, but his goal is only to get to 50 million.
Yeah.
Which again is a difference of 1,950,000,000. That's a huge fucking number.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting to see from you, but it wasn't this.
I'll try to take that as a compliment.
It is mid-sets.
You're fucking retarded. Alex, stop trying to be liked on the call. People are not gonna buy from you because they like you. People may not leave the call because they like you.
But me saying I'll try to take that as a compliment wasn't like
no, Alex, if what is it that you're doing works, and if you have so many clients, as you always say, would you fucking care if someone gives you a compliment or not? No, you will just don't even react to it because you already know that you're good. You already know that what is it that you're doing is fucking great.
So I just stay quiet?
Yeah.
Fair.
Or so I know. And then you just move forward. Hello, Celine.
Thank you. I do appreciate the fact that you have your daughter working on this kind of stuff. The sort of cornerstone principle of my model is adaptability. So which means that the fact that you already have somebody who takes care of some marketing aspects, for us, it's only, like, I only see it as an advantage for you, right?
Yeah.
We would probably figure out to work with her. We would probably keep her in the loop. And
I would say that would be the logical way to. Yeah, I mean, she has plenty of bandwidth on this. Quite frankly, there's a lot of times while I was in Hawaii and this and that I pay her like a consultant. She didn't have anything to do because she told me she did, and she said, Dad, you don't have to pay me. I didn't have anything to do. So yeah, she would be my project manager, if you will, on this. And I'm the on-air talent. I've worked in this area for quite a while in various things where it's okay. Tell me where I'm going to be and what the objective is, and then boom, cameras on, I go. So
yeah, perfect. And she could be, because obviously everything we do, we work with full transparency, so you have access to all the databases on two different ends. You have access to all these conversations. You have basically access to at any moment you can go in and see exactly what we're doing, exactly how well it's doing, etc. Now, if you have your daughter check that for you regularly, that's even easier for you. That basically means that you don't need to waste any of your time.
That's her job. And she's doing that so I can do the things that I do best. Yeah.
So it would be, let's say, easy to integrate into your current workflow, from what it seems to me. So, okay. Just to be sure we're on the same page. If the pricing is something that is okay with you, are you willing to work together and make some money together?
I think I am. I wish I'd say that with greater conviction. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I think I am. But I am a little concerned in terms of timing to the degree of this Apex stuff because I can actually put my arms around this a little bit better from your description as to what my involvement would be and what her involvement would be specifically. The Apex is frankly a little bit more of an unknown. So doing.
So is there anything that will speak against us just running two systems where, again, as we already both agreed, in the worst case scenario, you're just going to end up having more sales calls or just simply more per se referrals that you can then close? I know onboarding is super important for you and you want to do it properly, but by the end of the day, if you're going to make too much money, will it be a problem for you to just hire someone? Or just even to tell to the data scientist or the data analyst that you have to just simply help you with the onboarding? Utilize the information you have received from him, because at the same time, the data analyst is currently working 9 to 5 and not full time for him. Granted, the data analyst may just work till this guy dies, so he can just take his book over, but you get my point.
Yeah.
The two in tandem, I'm still convinced I can do the two in tandem.
Well, look, I can't speak for Apex, right?
Right.
But at least from our side, the workload, like my job is not to make your job more difficult. Does that make sense? So that's why we do the qualification, also to say
the opposite, right? Yeah.
So you will have some meetings, but with
Sure.
most of them, they will be as qualified as possible. It
Right.
will be, let's say, very easy closes, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Now, if anything, the fact that you're also running Apex at the moment, I see it as an advantage, because in, say, 3 months or 4, whatever your contract is with Apex, 4 months, you said, right? In 4 months or even sooner, you can compare. At the end of the day, if they're doing a good job, and I know I am doing a good job, then you're getting to your goals faster and faster.
Yeah.
Right? So
let me speak specifically to my concern about workload. The workload isn't so much the process of making the presentations, getting the business, or making the content and complying with what you guys are trying to do. It's literally when I bring on a new client, the implementation phase, opening an account's piece of cake.
Yeah.
But when I get a block of money, and say somebody gives me $1 million, basically I have 14 positions in the model. I'm going to implement about half of that money over a 2 to 3 day period of time after opening that account in those positions.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to build on those same positions over the next 3 to 5 weeks, where typically it will be fully invested, whether that ends up with 5% cash or 0% cash. I'm not a big cash holder typically, but over a 3 to 5 week period of time, I have a fairly intensive add-on process to.
Do you now see what I meant when I told you that it's also important to mention the onboarding aspect after saying that he can run 2 systems at the same time? Because for him, cash is not that important. What's important for him is the proper onboarding of the people that are trusting him with his money, with their money. Sorry.
Yeah.
Various shares. It's certainly not automated. It's not a case of, all right, I do 50% of what I have, and then I do 25% over the next. I may do that over the next 2 to 3 weeks or something like that, but I won't do it evenly. I may add, 2 to 3% in this position because we've got a price imbalance there. At the end of the period of time, you're going to have 14 positions where 8 of them are going to have roughly 5% each, 2 of them are going to have 15% each, and 4 of them are going to have roughly 7.5% each of the allocation. But getting to that nice, wonderful, even number it's not chaotic, but it is definitely responsive to what is going on in the market. So if I'm onboarding, let's say I onboarded 20 accounts, and I did through over 4 months, I did 5 of them per month or something like that. That's a pace I can keep up with in this and that. But if I have that and your inflow coming in, I'm concerned about the implementation phase of onboarding the clients.
Do you fucking see what I meant?
Yes.
This is quite literally you saying to someone who doesn't care about money, I'm gonna bring you a lot of money that will break your system. He's not afraid of the money. He's afraid of the system breaking down.
Yeah.
Because he cares about people.
So I should have mentioned this immediately. So this was like an objection before the presentation that I should have addressed. Basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Because in this case, he doesn't care about making money because he has made money previously. He is currently making 300,000. Yes, we have established he's making 300,000. So he's making 25 Gs per month.
Yeah, that's just from his stuff.
Yes. So he doesn't care about money. What he cares is about actually providing the good results to people. And you should have also known that, especially after he told you that a lot of clients that he currently has were clients back to the day where he was managing 2 billion and they still went with him. Because a person in his age doesn't care about the money, they care about loyalty and good work. It's not someone who hopes for get rich quick scheme by working with you, but about consistency and actually getting to the goal that he wants to get to.
Yeah.
You fucked up massively. You've positioned yourself here very terribly.
So if I understood you correctly, you're concerned that if you get too many leads and too many closes, you might struggle with the onboarding and with the
quality of it.
implementation. Yeah, okay, I see.
The quality of implementing. Now, there's a couple of things that I am contemplating on that make it a little. Okay, so throw that out.
But in this case, when you already went so deep, what you could have said, okay, but just let me clarify one thing. What was his name? Jim. So on the basis that, let's say, you will actually have the feeling, let's say hypothetically speaking, we will have started working today, and in a week you have noticed, hey, I'm closing too many people. I think I'm not able to deal with so many people. I'm not able to onboard them properly. Would it be possible, for example, for us to hire someone out? Or even an assistant that's going to help you with onboarding properly? Or will it be, for example, possible for, I don't know if he mentioned the name of the data analyst, but if you will know it, that will be fucking great, because I currently don't remember it. But
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, you should actually know it. Like,
No, but
you
he
know,
didn't.
but-
He didn't say.
I think you have never asked.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
can
but
probably say, or will it be possible that the data analyst actually quits his job because he wants to do this full time anyways, and with the finances that you are gonna get in because of the clauses you're gonna make to, for example, do this full time with you in order to assure that everyone gets onboarded as they should be? Because this is quite literally how you give him the assurance of you not caring about the money, but you also caring about him as a client and the results. Because the way you're currently formulating things seems in his head like, okay, so if this is how he sees my business, that also will apply to me. So if he doesn't care about how I'm onboarding clients or that my system may break, he will not really care about me.
Fair.
Because in this case, he's not logical, he's being absolutely emotional. It may
fair.
be because of his age. And not because he's gonna die. I meant because of his age, because like people in his, age, like grew up differently.
For a second. So therein lies the first process of building them into the model. Very shortly after I start building the model, then I add the complication of the dividend reinvestment process, because roughly 1/4 of the model will produce cash dividends every single week. All right. So, I'm getting new cash added onto the existing cash I haven't already invested. So it's fairly intense in that period of time. What I am contemplating is to stop killing myself a little bit further down the road on the reinvestment process. On the smaller accounts, I'm having a tendency, I'm going to move them to automatic reinvest. And then the larger accounts, as they approach 800 to $1 million, I'll continue to do the manual reinvest, and it won't be quite as time consuming. But that one is one of those, I'm literally I look at the market every day. I'll sit for an hour period of time at the opening and determine whether or not I've got reinvestment opportunities. And then I'll maybe check towards the end of the day and I'll do that every single day. That's not a big deal time commitment wise. But then I throw in there too, I've made life difficult for myself with this in some sense. And this is where I think I'm going to add an operational person that's going to make this easier. And the operational person, keep it in the family, is my wife, and she was a commodity bookkeeper in her prior life. And
keep it in the family. It sounded so bad. So many inside jokes in my head. No, but in this case, do you see like you will have quite literally answered something that he will now say, and on the basis that he has taught to himself this right now, in his head it will be like, he thinks the same, so he actually cares about people I work with.
So I'm supposed to like try say shit that he might think.
No, like this is fucking obvious what he's gonna say, like what he's thinking
No,
right now.
Right. So if I said this earlier, he would. But isn't that also like to be liked, or is that more to the competence side?
No, this is only competence side.
Okay.
Because in this case, you understand that his system might break, so you're currently trying to figure out a solution where the system, yes, it may break, but in a controllable way. Because especially if this is someone who deals with, stocks and stuff like that, he understands that, especially in stocks or trading or even in business, it's all about calculating risks and taking calculated risks.
the other complication is making sure that those dividend deposits that occur either on the 1st or the 15th of the month out to people's checking accounts via ACH are properly set up. There's enough cash in there to make it, because I'm over here tinkering with the model and this and that. And occasionally I get overly zealous and somebody needs $10,000 and I've got $8,500 in cash in the account. So I need somebody to slap me aside the head to say, Jim, create another 1,500 cash so that you can make that monthly deposit. So there's maintenance that occurs with the model. So I guess what I'm saying, sometimes like I'm whining about if you add basically almost twice as many clients or half as the clients I have now, I want to make sure I maintain the integrity of not only the onboarding, but they're getting their dividends reinvested properly, and then the most important thing, them getting their money in their checking account.
So from how I see it, just right off the bat, that's obviously before we started even working together, before I went deeper into your needs, I see two solutions. Namely, you mentioned that with smaller accounts, there is part of the process where you can automate it.
Yes.
So one viable solution to this would be to specifically use the system to find you what you call smaller accounts, what you can automate, at least until the point where you have somebody helping you out. Maybe you find an administrator or an operator, how you call it, right? Mm-hmm. Another, basically the other side of the coin, another solution would be to look for only for very high net worth individuals, in which case your AUM will increase. However, in terms of numbers of clients, there's going to be less, because obviously the more AUM you're looking for per client, the less the population of those clients is.
Sure.
So this is something that we can, let's say, modify and adapt to your needs, like week by week. Like it's not something that, let's say, even you tell me, let's say after the first month, Apex brings you 10 clients, right? Now you tell me that, oh, I closed 10 clients, I'm struggling right now, I can't deal with more clients until 2 weeks later, I'm going to try hire somebody. So what we do in that case is we start qualifying people, but we keep them sort of, again, since we deal with all of them, we send you those that you need and those that you want. Does that make sense? On top of that, the branding aspect of it will never stop, meaning that the whole branding process the brand is going to keep strengthening, right? Sure. So even if, let's say, some weeks you're more busy, or some weeks you're in the needs to hire somebody and you're looking for who to hire, most of the efforts will keep stacking up, so that when you have the availability, when you can handle more clients, we can just bring them to you.
To some degree, you even create a scarcity type situation where somebody says, come on, let me have him.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why this qualification management step is so important, because on your behalf, we basically make sure that every prospect is in line with your needs at the moment. Now, these needs can change. Like, we're not saying that you're going to give me a specification and we're going to work on those specifications for a year, right? Whatever your need is in the moment, we adapt to it, right? That's why, I usually tend to have, with my clients, I tend to have a meeting either once a week, sometimes once in 2 weeks. It really depends on the client, but it's never set in stone because it depends on the client. So if you want weekly updates, if you want weekly or even 2 bi-weekly sort of calls to catch up, where your priorities change, where stuff is moving fast, we can do that, no problem.
Cool.
So
you have, tell me a little bit about your infrastructure in terms of the size of your team that you have implementing all this.
So we are 4 people at the moment.
Oh, Alex.
What?
You're so bad.
What?
4 people. In his head, you're a big company.
The fuck am I supposed to say? 15? I have nobody.
Like the tonality you used there. Sad that you're not able to utilize the tonality on sales calls. No, just don't say too small. Like, find the perfect middle. Like, if you will have said 10, that will be good. That will be enough. But 4 is a very small number. Let's see his reaction towards them.
Okay. So when let's say I tend to only work with small teams. Why? Because I'd rather.
Also, you fuck up because you're currently justifying why your team is small without him telling you that it's small. Like, currently, you're again justifying your own existence. You have the tendency to do so, by the way.
Pay somebody more competent more than pay less, but to more people. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
So I have quite a long and quite a frankly annoying process of selection when I hire somebody. I usually give them some tasks to complete even before I hire them, because it needs to be people I trust. It needs to be competent people. It needs to be people that prioritize work over everything, because I do that, right?
It's great, Alex, but he never asked. It's like, for some reason, you will.
Huh? Yeah, but 4 sounded small, so I tried to.
Yes, but you don't. Has he said anything? No, Alex. It's like you will approach a beautiful woman in the club, and you will say, "I have 7 centimeters." Who the fuck asked? Alex, no one asked.
So if somebody is like, "Oh, I'm busy because I have this or I'm tired, I'm sorry, I can't do this," like, that's not something that works for me. At the moment, we're 4 people, including myself. We're scattered all over the world.
And you just even made it fucking smaller, Alex.
Basically, I have one person that's in charge of design. So basically, he's also a marketer. He does copy, he does ads, he's in charge of service delivery in that sense. So that means he creates the ads, he creates the Instagram posts, he creates the content plans, etc., etc. Then I review them because obviously this is also something that I'm good at. So, I review that everything's okay. We kind of work on it together, but then he's in charge of the design side, I'm in charge of the sales, right? And then I have two people that I work with from Asia that do the qualifications.
Why? Alex, do you know that most people in USA think Asia is a bad thing? As a matter of fact, they don't even know where Poland is. They think it's Russia.
Okay.
Don't mention random countries.
So what's a good number for me
Just
to
say
say?
10.
Yeah, but so right, assumption, there is the assumption that I might actually close him. In which case, hiding 3 people from him makes more sense or seems more realistic than hiding 9 people.
No, absolutely fucking not. Hiding 3 non-realistic people in comparison to hiding 9 makes no difference because none of them exist.
Yeah, no, but my point is, if we keep working together and he sees that he doesn't interact with anybody besides me.
Yes, because you're the face, you're the CEO, you're the big boss, the man.
Okay, 10 from now on.
Wonderful. Hey, Alex, god damn it.
And take care of all smaller administrative stuff, such as setting up the backend, setting up all of the systems for lead generation, for cold lead generation, setting up like my calendar, basically all the technical stuff, all the personal conversations with the clients, like you can see here. Those two take care of all of that. Does it answer your question?
Yes. Good.
But basically, since I'm in charge of client management in general, you'll be dealing mainly with me.
Again, like this was the only thing that was useful to mention. Anything else, useless.
If you want at some point, you can obviously meet my team, but you'll meet with me. They're all kind of introverts. Hence, I take care of the sales.
Right. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
But he never asked. Like you're giving him reassurance that shows that you're insecure about what you just said.
Yeah, I know. I keep doing this mistake when I have to lie. Like I get flustered.
Okay, but then they don't lie. You know what you can do? Okay, you don't fucking know. But how many people are on my team here in the mentorship?
From what I know, 3 with AJ.
Okay, it's more. But sure, call it fucking 3. Yeah, because 3 are the only people you have access to.
Right.
Call it 3. Cool. So you can quite literally say team of 4. If you want to, I can tell you how many people I have employed. But then if you're going to tell him that number across all of my businesses, he's going to shit himself. But then if you don't want to lie, tell a half truth. Do you know what it is? A half truth will be, for example, 4, because when you say my team, you mean, I assume me, AJ, Ismael. Because this is also someone that is going to help you with actually this thing, correct?
Yeah.
Cool. So how is that a lie?
See, but then I didn't lie, so then the only problem is that I just fucking over justified myself, I guess.
Yes. Because and that came out of point of insecurity, because you're a bitch. But then why are you? But then why? No. But I'm asking generally because this is something that you're constantly doing, independent of the scenario. You're always trying to justify yourself after you say something where you should have played off confidence in that moment. That's not the first time.
Yeah, because I'm not used to blatantly lying. Second of all, everything that relates to my experience working with actual financial planners is basically non-existent, right?
Yes, but you are
more
familiar
difficult
with financial planning, yes?
Sorry?
But you know how financial plans are working. So just refer to that. If you don't feel super confident, cool, inform yourself more about the niche so you can feel more confident.
No, but it's a thing of habit too. Like with some lies I do better now, but with others, like sometimes I get flustered. So I'll just pay more attention to that I guess.
Yes, do. Because I will assume that this is also something you do on a daily basis in your life. When no one asks you how big is it, you lie and then you justify. You know, it's 25, but I heard that it's the driver, not the car. Literally without any reasoning. Like most of the things you have now justified, he never fucking asked for them.
No, I understand.
And it shows insecurity.
Okay,
It's like
just need...
you will meet a random person on the street. He will never fucking ask you, and you just tell them, "I have a Ferrari." Like, okay, Alex, good for you, but who the fuck asked?
Obviously, I started somewhere. At some point, when I just created the system, I was doing all of it by myself, which means that I make sure that everything is done like I want it. So there is no uncertainty when it comes to my team members.
Yeah.
I see them as extensions of myself, if that makes sense.
Got it. Well, and your lengthy process of putting the new people on the team, I like that. Resumes do a wonderful job to explain what people can do, and then you give them a task and you make sure they can do it.
You would be surprised how bad people do with just basic tasks.
Yeah. You will not be surprised. He has been in the industry for 46 years. Motherfucker has 5 decades over you in life experience.
If you give them a list of concrete, specific tasks,
I can't say that.
No, it's kind of irrelevant to say. Because why do you mention it?
Just fucking... I don't know. I feel like context makes a lie more believable.
No.
Do
you know how you can spot a liar?
Too many details?
You can spot, yes. And what the fuck are you currently doing?
Too many details, yeah.
Wonderful. Because quite literally, if I will ask, Celine, what have you eaten yesterday? She's just gonna say, I don't know, dinner. If I will ask you, what have you eaten today? You will tell me, I had a wonderful steak with this and this amount of mashed potatoes, with this and this vegetables, with this and this sauce. Because that would be a lie.
Still miss things, they'll miss details. And I've honestly had some bad experiences with specifically working with people when I used to have a partner. And then, I had bad experience, hence why I make sure that if I do work with somebody, that they won't put me in a situation where I lose money because
you're tough. You've been around as long as I have. You've had a strew of bodies and partnerships at times. Not a whole lot, but enough to make you very mindful of not doing the same things over again. So
yeah, I got to learn from my mistakes, otherwise I won't ever progress, right?
Okay.
So what are your thoughts at the moment? Is there anything else you would like me to walk you through? Like anything at all? Just shout it out. I'll provide you with an answer.
Okay. I can't think of any right now. I know in a perfect world, I know what my finance director, aka my wife, says is, okay, great, go make some money on your Apex investment and take that money and reinvest it into something that's more durable, like what you're proposing. Because look, at the end of the day, I can get new clients one way or the other, whether I do it organically, slowly, or I do it through the Apex thing of that nature. But creating the branding and the identification for the model is beyond just getting new accounts. It's it's cementing the value, because there will be times like we've had in the U.S. markets in the last 3 weeks. I've been very fortunate that the people I've brought on as clients understand our number one objective is income, because it ain't about total return right now. It's not about prices. Prices, we've been getting hammered. But our dividends remained, consistent. In fact, they'll probably be a little higher in the month of March than they were in February because of the level of volatility. But they're on the right. They were chosen correctly for the people that's what their focus is. So I haven't had any problems or issues with clients. But as time goes on, and the number of people have a further distance away from me than the ones I have as clients now, because most of mine are referrals. I've had all of them referrals and personally known. There's going to be a new group of folks that haven't worked with me for 20 years or known people that know this and that. So that's where the identity of the model and the other strengthening things to make this look more like a true investment management company with a model are going to be more critical. So I kind of look at this as more of a investment in as much in certainly into growth, but as much as anything else into the qualitative aspects of maintaining the appeal of the model through these investment environments. So exactly. and your flexibility in being able to turn the spigot a little tighter and make it produce less but maybe higher quality leads is great, and then open it up. Okay, we have some room here. That flexibility is very attractive as well. So I think you've answered my questions.
I wouldn't, so to speak, compare myself to competitors. Apex is a competitor in that sense, right? I won't sit here and say that I'm better or I can do better. I'm happy you see the value of it. I do appreciate that you actually understand it. However, I won't sit here and put them down to try myself. But what I will say is that purely from a business perspective, purely from an efficiency perspective.
I won't put them down due to the fact that I actually prefer, especially because this is what my father taught me, that my value as a man is being shown by my actions. So I prefer my actions to speak out loudly in the results I'm providing rather than my words. That's why when I say, I don't really mind if you go with Apex, especially since from my understanding, it's not your money, it's the CEO's money. At the same time, you need to understand my perspective when I say that it will, logically speaking, make sense to run two systems at the same time, where we can maximize the possibility of you closing, getting to your goal sooner rather than later. So in the worst case, if you're gonna die tomorrow, your daughter is gonna be able to continue the company with a better finances, where she can then, for example, hire certain things out. Do you agree or do you disagree? Because you're constantly forgetting about the fact that the most important thing for him is the results that he's providing for his clients and the legacy he wants to keep on going. I kind of feel sad for the data analyst if someone asks me, by the way, because he's quite literally working for him like a slave, hoping he's gonna get his book. Oh, really? Alex just fucking left. I like how it doesn't really apply to anyone else besides Alex, and he just left. I'm gonna wait a few minutes, maybe he joins back. In the meantime, Nance, Celine, Chaha, does anyone have any questions?
No.
Did you just all said no at the same time? What the fuck? So Celine, when are you gonna present us with your presentation?
I don't know.
I don't know. Come on, say it.
When?
Yeah. I can give
I
you a
can do
date, but you're not gonna
tomorrow.
like it.
Tomorrow?
Really?
What is tomorrow?
Okay. No, okay.
Yeah, I
I'm
can
gonna
do
write
tomorrow.
myself in the calendar. Celine is gonna finally show us the presentation. Yeah. If no one has any questions, is there anything you need my assistance with? Or do I all see you tomorrow? Or do I all see you tomorrow? Or do I see you all tomorrow? That's what I meant.
I'm
No
good.
questions.
No
Why are you
questions.
also so sweet? Like, no questions. Thank you. I see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
You
More
want us
aggressive.
to be mean to you?
Yeah.
Try, honestly, try. If you will have experienced what I've experienced in life, it's not that it will work, but be my guest. Give it a try.
Well, there's nothing to be mean about. You know, you talk
I know I'm great.
properly, so well,
Say
don't
less,
flatter
honestly.
yourself. Don't
Yeah.
flatter yourself.
I know I'm humble as a pie. Well, unless you guys want to have an ego conversation with myself, feel free to leave.
Oh, bye.
I'm just not able to leave and end the meeting because I'm eating. I have a pancake in one hand and I have a fork in the other.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye, Celine. Bye, Nance.
I'll
Yeah,
just say bias. No, that's okay. Go ahead.
No, I
Sorry.
just wanted to say, how is your back feeling?
Pretty bad. I accidentally moved, so it
Yeah.
just dispositioned my waist more.
What?
Yeah, so
Yeah, that shit doesn't sound healthy at all.
yeah, because you know, person who's like always occupied with things, right? And suddenly that person
Yeah.
just has to sit on the bed. and do nothing all day and, lie in uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
It is just hell.
Yes, but at the same time, Chahat, your back is fucking broken.
It's just a small crack. It's gonna heal. I just
Chahat, where's the small crack? Remind me.
right beside my spine.
Holy shit!
Yes.
Optimism.
No. It's a workaholic speaking, saying, "Yeah, in that bed is gonna heal."
It's gonna be fine. Like in 1 or 2 months, it's gonna be okay. But I just want to
Yes,
move.
but no, Chahat. In order for it to be fine in 1 or 2 months, believe it or not, you need to allow your fucking spine to regain.
Then I have to
You
leave
know-
work. Then I cannot work at the FedEx warehouse. I gotta find some solution for it.
A warehouse sounds like the worst job to have with a broken back. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I broke my back recently, so
Yeah, Alex, you're not helping in this conversation. Not gonna lie,
yeah, you're not helping, honestly.
you're currently making it worse because you make her realize.
No, I'm
That it
hoping
is a-
that's gonna make her rest. So her
No,
back heals.
Alex, because she's studying medicine. She needs to pay for tuition and shit like that.
Ah, fuck. Yeah, I'm just gonna shut up at this point.
You better.
Chahat,
Otherwise, I'm gonna go guilt shame.
Chahat, from a workaholic to a workaholic, yes?
Yeah.
I understand that it's hard to chill, especially if the only thing you do is work. But at the same time, please understand, your back is fucking broken.
It
And
is.
believe it or not, you need your back for almost everything in life.
Yeah. Technically, I'm not able to walk because of it. It's been painful walking,
Alex,
a
do you now
lot.
understand what I meant when I said to you, you're making it worse?
Yeah.
Because she's also not making it easier.
No, I just tried. So I just tried moving for the sake that, oh, okay, it's gonna be fine.